More Guitar Sessions, episode 3. Today we're going to check in and dial in the musical legacy of one of rock and roll's greatest rhythm guitar players, Mr. Malcolm Young of AC/DC. Malcolm Young of AC/DC, I don't think he is given enough praise. I don't know if I ever remember him on any of the covers of guitar magazines in the past. And today we're going to give him his just due. So, why Malcolm Young? Why is he important? First of all, Malcolm Young is the main chief architect for the sound of AC/DC. He was the leader, he was the founder. He was the guy that made all the important decisions. He supplied the vision. So he was a leader in every sense of the word. Good leaders supply vision. Okay, so when they go on stage, when the band goes on stage, okay, initially everybody had a costume. It was kind of like the end of the first generation of like kind of glam with like Slade and those kinds of bands. Everybody had a little costume. He saw very early on that that wasn't going to work. He saw that they were not going to be noticed as a glam band. He saw that what was working was Angus being a focal point, both playing and performance-wise, and he just stepped out of the way and gave him all the stage he needed. Okay, so the rest of the guys, they put on a jeans and a t-shirt, and then Angus in a schoolboy uniform, and that was their pattern that they went with for the rest of their time. So the other thing is, well, he is a master rhythm guitarist. Now, the thing you got to think about with rhythm guitar, in the history of rhythm guitar, we don't really know if Freddie Green could solo on a guitar. We don't really know if Jimmy Nolan, another titan of rhythm guitar, we don't really know if he was a soloist on guitar. But what we do know about Malcolm Young is he could play anything. His brother, he was neck and neck with his brother. If you listen to their earliest, some of their earliest recordings, like Baby Please Don't Go, their version of that, you hear two battling guitar players doing battling leads. It's like very early on, Malcolm says, I'm going to play, the band needs a solid rhythm player who's playing the rhythm all the time. That is going to be the sound of this band. It's rhythm centered. So Malcolm said, I'm going to be the rhythm guitar player. Angus, you're going to play the lead guitar stuff. Okay, I'm going to be controlling it from subtly and not so subtly. The rhythm is everything. So that was a decision that he made that made him a hero among, it should be a hero among rhythm guitar players. So with that said, he is one of the first guys in rock and roll. Keith Richards, another one, maybe we could say Pete Townsend as well, but who really praised rhythm guitar. Rhythm guitar is the thing that shapes the band. It is the songs, it is the riffs, it's all that. So master rhythm guitar player, took pride in rhythm guitar, wrote the songs. He was a principal songwriter, continues to this day to be a principal songwriter even after his death. All right, next is he's also the songwriting. As I said, did a lot of songwriting, probably entirely Malcolm and Angus, musically speaking, but Malcolm was the leader. Okay, so he was probably, they were going back and forth with the riffs and all that, and they put the songs together. So, as I said, the business and leadership, every band needs a leader. Every band needs a leader. So if you think about it this way, they started in 1973, and in 1980, they were playing on the world stages. They were the biggest band in the world. In 7 short years, they took a pub band who played a New Year's Eve gig for their first gig, and then 7 years, in 7 years, they became the biggest band in the world. Okay, that took leadership. Malcolm was the leader. So giving props to Malcolm for his leadership abilities and influence. It's like he didn't put up with nothing. He was a bruiser. He didn't put up with, he was not to be messed with. So anyway, so with that said, Malcolm was guitar playing style wise, he was fond, and this is something that people don't really get. We're going to talk a little bit about his playing style and his tone. His tone, one of the things we know about his tone, it isn't what, like kids nowadays, what they do is they would take, and adults for that matter, they will take distortion, and too much of a good thing makes your guitar sound like white noise. So Malcolm's rhythm was always distorted. Okay, it always had an element of jangliness in it. You heard open chords, you heard the open strings. It wasn't all only power chords, and the tone was important. Distortion, but not too much distortion. Okay, it wasn't white noise. It was the rhythmic center, and lots of open chords. Today we're going to discuss 4 open chords that Malcolm used and made popular. 3 of which you probably already know, 1 of which is easy, but you probably never considered. So when we think of open chords, open power chords, this is an E5. Okay, a power chord is a shortened version of the bar chord, or in this case, an open chord. It is the shortened version of a. So Malcolm was not afraid to use that full voice chord either. Okay, so he would use the open chords, but he would also use the open power chord, and then so the E, A, and D open power chords. Any aspiring rock guitar player who wants to get into rock guitar, they should know their open power chords. So the ones that we all think about right off the bat are the open string open power chords. That E5, A5, and D5. Okay, so now the chord that everybody misses, and the link that everybody misses, is the G, open G power chord, which we can play that in 2 ways. We can play that just like that with your second finger on the low E string 3rd fret. Muting out the A string. He could play an open chord, he would do that. His strings on his guitar were probably thicker than the lead guitar player's strings. That's part of his sound. The fact that it's a Gretsch guitar, it's a jangly guitar to begin with. He didn't plug right into the amplifier. Okay, it was probably not a lot. There's none of this, a bunch of floor effects. He had one sound. Also the Chuck Berry element. Chuck Berry element, we could take each of those power chords. Okay, one last thing about his rhythm is his articulation. When we say articulation, we're talking about how do you strike the string? How do you strike the note? So, like the shortness, the fatness. Okay, all of which he's open chords, open power chords. Okay, that G chord is a link to many, many riffs that he plays, that he has created. All right, so lots of second finger G power chord. Now this second way you can play that, sometimes he would play the G5 with a D on top. great rock and roll rhythm guitar. You're getting into guitar. You're learning how to play for the first time. You want to start a rock band. Get into your open power chords. Check out some Malcolm Young. Check out the rhythm. His music, their music was rhythm centered. Rhythm was the most important thing. All their stuff had a groove. That was the design. That's it for this episode of Boomer Guitar Sessions. If you have any questions or any comments, put it in the descriptions and in the stuff below. And as always, please share, like, subscribe, and share this with 50 of your closest friends. And I appreciate you. And rock on. See you later.